Live from the Export Beer Garden studio, this is the agenda for January the 19th, 2024.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
Welcome into the podcast. A couple of things to address straight off the bat. Neither of us wearing shoes.
No.
And I think that's how all good podcasts should be done. And second of all, Lane has about half a bottle of sunscreen in his eyes right now.
Yeah, look, I'm balls deep in school holidays. That's probably not the right terminology to use, but I am.
I'd steer you away from that,
yeah. But I had to lather up the kids with sunscreen this morning, and in a oversight, I tried to lead by a good example, and I put a big fistful of cream and I whacked it on my face. Look, I'm putting sunscreen on. I'm not even going outside. Mm-hmm. And then within about 10 minutes, my eyes, and that was about a good hour and a half ago, and my eyes, I'm struggling to keep them open. Bright lights hurt.
Do you want some sunglasses?
It's not good. It's not good. But I'm just as well that podcasting is a audio medium. Here's some sunnies. There you go.
Oh, yeah, powerful.
Oh, that's better.
Pair of speed dealers on now.
Yeah, it's just it's evil. They should use it to torture Al Qaeda operatives.
Yeah,
just squirt sunscreen in their eyes.
It's like they do the shampoo, the No More Tears shampoo.
Yeah.
You need No More Tears sunscreen, don't you?
I know. You're probably not supposed to put it in your eyes, though.
No, I don't think you are. But a big weekend of sport ahead of us,
Yes.
and we're going to start tonight. Everybody keeps asking me about the Backlash, which we're commentating tomorrow night. And everybody keeps saying, are you excited for that? Well, we get a bloody T20 tonight to get through first.
I know.
So the Black Caps are playing Pakistan at the Hagley Park Oval down there in Christchurch.
Yep, dead rubber.
It is a dead rubber. But New Zealand are paying $1.56 to win the game. Interestingly, $1.90 to win the toss. We've talked about this before. It is a very thinly veiled way for you to be able to bet on literally the toss of a coin.
Yeah.
And I have dumped my TAB account onto that.
On us winning the toss?
On us winning the toss.
Because we lost the toss the last three.
3 in a row.
Yes.
I mean,
Brendan McCullum, though, awful tosser. He only won a handful in his whole career.
yeah, it's just a little suspicious to me. I was going to bet on Pakistan to win the toss last week, and in the last game. And I didn't, and I highly regret it. So this is the gambler's fallacy. Just because something's happened 3 times in a row doesn't mean the opposite's going to happen on the 4th time. But anyway, I'm heavily invested. Top scorers, Conway is the lowest odds.
Yeah.
$3.60.
He's been the lowest odds the whole series.
He has.
And he hasn't top scored.
I think that the TAB are going to make a lot of money on Finn Allen to top score today.
Yeah.
I think that everyone's going to get on board that. And I just don't know. I feel like if Pakistan have had any meetings about this match at all, it would have all been, how do we get Finn Allen out? Because we cannot let that happen again.
Mitchell's good eating.
Yeah, $5.
He's on his home turf. He's a can tab now. After turning his back on Northern Districts 2 years ago.
It's a great career move.
Yeah, whatever. So he's paid $5, which is not bad. He's due.
Yes.
And if they get a couple of early wickets, snick out a couple of the openers early, Mitchell will be in.
Yep.
Yeah, and the first ball, we've really dived in deep on what the first ball's going to go for, don't we?
Well, Joe Jury put one of the most ambitious and audacious hedge bets on that I've ever seen on the first ball of the last match.
Yeah.
Joe, do you remember what the sprinkling was?
Yes, so I put $1 on a no ball.
That was paying what, $20?
$40?
$24, I think it was. $1 on a wide, which was paying $36.
Yep.
$1 on a 6, which was paying $46.
Yep.
$2 on a 4, which
Yep.
was paying $6.
Yep.
And then another $2 on a wicket, which was paying about $12.
Yep.
And nothing came in.
Well, yeah, it was
a single.
It was a single. It was the worst possible result because I dumped a hundy on a 6 being hit, and it was paying, like I was saying, $47. I was about to return $4,500, but it didn't happen. But it's good and bad. It's good in the lead up. It's quite exciting, the first ball,
Yes.
and then it gets delivered, and you're chasing.
Yeah. Then straight off the bat, you're chasing, or you win big, and you are also still chasing because you now have $4,000 burning a hole in your account. Where is the TAB account at? It's
It's about 600.
Yeah.
So when it gets to 1,000, we give it away. And when we give it away, people are like, "Oh, it's just bonus bit." It's not. It's cash into your TAB account. So if you want, you can withdraw it straight away.
Withdraw that.
It's cash money.
And we don't consider that cowardly to withdraw it at all. First ball, 4. That is paying $7 today. As Joe said, $6 in the last one. That's my favourite bet to get on for the first ball is a 4.
Well, surely
edge down to the boundary.
Surely, given it's a dead rubber, I'm picking the Black Caps are going to try and put themselves under a bit of pressure and chase.
Yeah, on
yeah,
purpose.
I reckon on purpose because it's a T20 World Cup year. They won the series. I think, I'm sure, they've got the all on them now. They've got the series in the bag. I think they need to. They've only got another 3 T20s against Australia coming up, and then they're into the T20 World Cup. So there'll be a few warm-ups before the World Cup as well.
Oh, yeah, they'll shoot on a tour of
some of
Eastern Europe or something.
Totally. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if New Zealand do win the toss, that they bowl first.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all. And, by the way, they are going to win the toss. Now, Finn Allen, we were talking about this yesterday, obviously had an incredible knock. He is Angelina Gray from Radio Hodaki's nephew.
Yes.
And because of that, she was able to pull a few strings, get him on her show yesterday on Radio Hodaki, and have a bit of a yarn to him. And he was a little confused as to where his nickname came from and exactly what it was. This is the audio from him talking to Angie yesterday.
I've acquired a new nickname from the ACC. I don't know where that's come from.
Because of your dominant bone structure, which it ran a bit more in the family, to be honest. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, what is it? Chinnius? I don't know. I haven't actually listened to it.
I think it started off being Chin Ellen and now it's turned into Chinnius. I don't know. Who knows where it goes with those fellas, to be fair.
We know where it goes.
Yeah. It's Chinnius Slog, which is Phineas Fogg. It's a play on Phineas Fogg.
Who is the guy from the balloon around the world in 80 days, right?
He's got an impressive chin on him.
He does.
Finn Allen. So, I mean, it's like it develops. It's a moving beast, the ACC nickname. It started off as Chin Allen. He was the real Chin Shady for a while.
Yep.
And then Chinnius Slog got suggested, and it kind of stuck because he's got a big chin. He can slog a big ball.
Phineas Fogg, Chinnius Slog.
Yeah. And look, slogging these days is not an insult. Because you remember when people say, he's just a slogger.
He's a slogger.
He's like, damn right, he's a slogger. And he fucking slogs 16 sixes.
Yeah, it's an art.
Yeah.
It used to not be.
It's not an insult to
No.
him. It is basically a term of endearment.
Yes.
He's got an impressive chin. I haven't seen a chin like that since Lou Vincent.
Not on a cricket field,
Yes.
no.
I think we talked about this. Yeah, on cricket field chins.
Yes.
Don't stay away from Cleary, okay? Because he's a comedy chin.
He's taking the piss a little bit at this stage. But yeah, it's like your pet. You give your pet a name and then they end up with a nickname that's so far removed from what their original name was.
Yeah.
That everyone who's got a pet ends up calling their pet something, and it must give them an absolute complex when you're calling 7 different names to them.
Totally.
They don't know what the hell they are.
I've adopted a dog. Well, the kids have, and its nickname is Chewbacca because it's got a big furry head. It looks like a Chewbacca.
It does look like Chewbacca.
Yeah. And then it's like he's called Chewie, and then he's called Bacca. But then they for some reason the kids call him Chewbacca No Mama. So now he's just known as No Mama. So the poor dog is like No Mama, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm either Chewbacca or Chewie. Okay, Bacca at a stretch.
Yeah.
Where's Chewbacca No Mama come from?
And it's just so confused. Yeah, so now he's No Mama.
Yeah,
and it's like,
exactly.
But you also adopted it, so he probably had a different name. Our cat was called Max when we got it from the SPCA. We renamed it Moose. Then, for whatever reason, that became Moops. And then he got fleas, so then he became Floops. And then he became Fleeps. And so now he's just Fleeps. He's walking around the house like, Fleeps, yeah, Fleeps. And he's like,
he's looking at you just going, I am going to
who the fuck is Fleeps?
crap on your bed.
I'm going to go...
Cats will get you back.
I'm going to go get in a massive fight, get my head infected, and then it'll run you about $1,000 at the thing. So
I know how to get you back.
Shout out to Fleeps. The Backlash is actually going to happen tomorrow night, despite the fact that we've got work between now and then.
Yeah, back at Bay Oval, sold out. I mean, I have never had so many people pestering me for tickets to that. Usually people go and go, you got any tickets to the Black Cat? So I go, yeah. This one here, it's been sold out for ages, particularly the Export Ultra Beer Garden.
Yes.
I've been asked and pestered for that. That's a zone where everyone gets a sports gear, party shirt, steer the ship hat, and a ice cold can of Export Ultra as they come in.
What a ridiculous deal.
Oh, totally.
We're doing our ass on this.
No, like that. You say that jokingly. We are massively doing our ass on this. So you guys better appreciate it. Those 500 that are headed there. It's going to be great. It's always a great time, the Backlash. It's just a different vibe. People are there for a specific reason, and that is just some entertainment. They're not really vested in it. They want to see Richie McCaw. They want to see Kieran Reid, Dan Vittori. They want to see Will Jordan and Geordie Barrett. So it's and see them playing cricket as well. So cricket's almost a sidebar to what goes on elsewhere around the ground. Everyone's having a great time.
It's the novelty of it because it's basically a pub yarn come to life.
Yes.
Like what would happen if Kieran Reid was facing Nathan McCullum or something ridiculous like that? What if Jonathan Thurston bowled at Brian Lara?
Oh,
how would that go? And these are the things that we talk about on a Friday afternoon at the pub.
I reckon he's sleeping. I reckon Jonathan Thurston's. He's playing possum a little bit. I reckon he's handy.
My only issue with Jonathan Thurston would be, how are the shoulders? Because that's basically what caused his retirement. He was held together by tape towards the end of his career.
But I guess they lose a lot of weight. They lose a lot of weight once they finish playing, though, because they're not eating chickens and smashing tin and protein. So they kind of look at Kieran Reid, for example.
Oh,
Kieran Reid,
svelte.
He's 30 kgs lighter than he was when he played for the All Blacks. So let's hope that's true with. So the TAB are taking odds.
The TAB have created a book for this, which I don't know.
I've gone in on the rugby team, by the way,
and they're
paying
outsiders.
They're definitely outsiders. I've put the agenda game day good punt as this podcast here.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on Team Rugby to win, and they're paying $3.20.
Wow.
Yeah. So, look, they haven't got a bad team. They've got Lara, obviously.
Helps.
But they've got Jason Spice.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Kieran Reid, obviously.
Kieran Reid's handy.
They've got Will Jordan. There's a couple others that I was thinking, that's handy. That's kind of handy.
Yeah.
And they're obviously fitter than their opposition.
That's the big leveler, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you get retired cricketers, and it's not cool if you're a cricketer to take it really seriously.
Yeah.
Whereas for the rugby players, they can take it as seriously as they want. And it's not uncool.
The Harry Jav, who's playing for cricket team, he says that. He's like, it's a lose-lose for the cricket. Even when you play those little charity games, even when they come and play the Dulux Tradies 11 with us, they're like, that's a bit more relaxed. But it's like, go hard and you're seen as a bit of a dick.
A loser, yeah.
Don't go hard enough and lose, you're a loser.
Yeah.
So it's a massive lose-lose.
Was it Kyle Mills who was really firing up towards the end of the last innings? Was it last year?
Yeah. And Shane Bond saw the red mist as well.
Yes, yeah. That's what I was
so you got the
thinking of,
McCullums and the cricket teams. They'll go all right. You got Colin de Gronholm, who's only recently retired. Anton Devsic, who's only recently really retired, playing for the cricket team.
Colin's still playing T20s though, isn't he?
He's fully gone. Just plays golf. So it's, look, the cricket team is stacked with internationals, all retired. Rugby team, look, I think they're obviously fit.
Yes.
But it's going to be interesting.
And they've got Jock McKenzie, who just played for the Aces,
correct.
which is ridiculous.
Handy.
Yeah.
Handy. And obviously, Brian Lara, they've got to get at least 50 out of Lara.
Yeah.
And out of Kieran Reid as well.
Give the people what they want when Brian Lara comes in too. Put your shittest bowler on. Let us have at least an over to watch him.
No, because this is the problem. This is why Matt Heath and Lee Hart get wickets. Because you lower yourself. And don't bring on your shit bowl. Bring on your better bowlers to Brian Lara.
Right, because that's what he's used to.
I think you prefer the ball coming on.
Yeah.
Because when you've got dibbly-dobbly, I mean, someone like Heath, I've never seen a man take the pace off a ball so much than Matt Heath that it almost doesn't get to the other end. And it is the most frustrating thing to then, it's all on you
to generate the
power and time it. So, it's going to be cracking. 6:30 the coverage starts. 7 o'clock is the first ball. It's going to be total carnage. You're on the call. I'm just going to do the pitch report, and I'm going to go run the party zone.
Go and stick your keys in the pitch.
Yeah, that's right. But we love this time of year because it's on TVNZ1.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people out there who think it's a genuinely competitive cricket match.
This is the funniest thing because all the people at the game, they know what it is.
Yep.
But it's the lamest take in sports to be like, this isn't real cricket. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah. And then they're like, can these commentators just commentate the game and take it seriously? It's like, wow. No.
Jonathan Thurston's bowling at Brian Lara. What do you mean take it seriously? Fuck off. And just last night, we got memed.
Oh, yes.
The Whakataki Times, which is a great page on Instagram, sort of similar to the Batuta Advocate, I'd say. Yeah. They put a post up saying, older gentleman decides to enjoy the Backlash cricket match despite those clowns in the commentary. With a picture of us.
Which is going to be great because what we do also is we take our text machine with us, 3236, and we tell a whole new audience to have a go. And we say, look, bypass the BSA. Let's just cut to the chase. Let us know directly. And I remember doing that last game, and it was like, basically there was smoke coming out of the iPad.
Yes.
With messages coming in of just, it was so good. Just people, and then if you don't tell them, it costs them 20 cents as well. So you had the last laugh when someone does it about 20 times.
I don't know. This would be a great opportunity to scam them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Boomer's very susceptible to a scam.
Very susceptible.
And we have their details because they're going to be texting us in to slag us off. We could clean their retirement funds out.
Just hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Let's scam them on air, live on TV1.
Let's just try and take someone to the cleaners live on TVNZ. I'm a big fan of that. The over-under for BSA complaints, that's the Broadcasting Standards Authority, has been set at 12.5.
Well, that's quite high.
Yeah?
That is quite high. I'd put that in year 1 and 2, I would put it up near 15.
Yep.
But I think in the last few years, we've kind of worked out where the line is with TVNZ1 in the audience.
So we've toned it down a fraction.
Well, toned it down a fraction, maybe. Or just maybe told less in-jokes, I think.
Yeah, right.
But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good fun. I love the feedback that comes in. On Monday, we'll go through the best feedback on 3236. There's always some absolute crackers that sometimes I think that's our audience just having a real hoon. Like, you remember Cyberbully Tuesday?
Yes.
On Radio Hauraki? That was a great segment. And
Yeah.
some of the bullies that came through was so good. Some of those messages will be that. They'll be our current audience with a real license to have a swing.
Yep, with a free hit from a no ball.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. And just quickly, while we're on New Zealand cricket as well, our interview with Chris, who was accused of stealing the ball from Seddon Park a few days ago, was the most viewed page on the New Zealand Herald yesterday.
Good. Justice for Chris.
We don't discuss the news on this podcast.
No.
We are the news.
Give Chris his ball back.
Yeah.
Let's next time at Seddon Park, I think everyone should have banners saying give Chris his ball back.
Get it trending.
Yeah.
And just quickly before we leave cricket in the dust for today, Aussie are absolutely obliterating the Windies at the moment in a test match. He'd got 119. Windies still 22 behind in their second innings. They got 4 wickets in hand. This is a real nothing of a test series, isn't it?
Windies have given up on test cricket. It's like South Africa. They've basically kicked it to touch.
They've given up on international cricket.
Yeah, T20, they're still very competitive.
To a degree, but some of their better players don't play for the Windies. Some of them will just pick up the contracts. Is part of that because the West Indies is not a country, so there is no patriotism for that.
Oh, it's the team is rife with politics as well.
Yeah,
people underestimate how much politics there is because where does the coach come from? Where are the selectors from? Because it's made up of 5, 6 countries.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily like each other.
It's basically Pirates of the Caribbean with a cricket team.
Yeah, Barbados, Jamaica.
Your St. Kitts, your bloody Nevis, your St. Lucia.
They're not all good buddies.
No.
So it's all sorts going on. People think, where is the West Indies?
Yeah, I reckon about 80% of cricket fans could not point to the West Indies on a map.
I also think the anthem for the West Indies should be Dreadlock Holiday or something. Like, just really take the piss.
It should be Wuck, We Are Wuck by Chris Gale. Go and look that up. It's on Spotify. It'll be the soundtrack to your weekend.
Hey, another bit of news out of Australia as well. Dan Vettori has been announced as the interim white ball coach for Australia for next month. What's happening next month?
They're coming here.
That's right. So Vettori's going to have to tour New Zealand with the Australian T20 squad playing New Zealand, which is going to be interesting.
How do we take advantage of that?
There's something we can do.
Yeah,
there's definitely something we can do. But it's funny because I was thinking about the coaching scenario. We have left a lot of coaches on the cutting room floor of the likes of McCullum, Fleming, Vettori, who have never coached in New Zealand.
No,
they've always coached, and they're the 3 highest paid coaches currently in New Zealand. Because Fleming doesn't do a lot of coaching at the moment, but he's obviously through Chennai. He coached them for years, and now I think he's pretty much like CEO. Yeah, you obviously got McCullum over there, Baz balling his brains out, and then you got Vettori over in Aussie making Australia better. It's like all our good ones just go, you know what? It's probably better. They probably just look at New Zealand job and go, that is a real ball ache.
You know what it also is? It's such Kiwi thinking. I don't know, great batsman, Brendan McCullum. Don't know if he'd make a great coach. Whereas everyone overseas is just like, oh yeah, fuck
that guy's great.
He turned New Zealand cricket around.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he be a good coach? Same with Vettori. But then for some reason, where's Kiwis like, well, yeah, but just because you're a good bowler doesn't mean you're a good coach. Might be one of the indicators of how good you'll be as a coach. You certainly know the game.
So there's something we can do there. I'm sure there's something we can do.
We'll put our heads together.
Yeah, let's see that one.
And have a brainstorm. All right, time for a quick ad, and we'll be back with more of the daily agenda. A little bit of rugby news, just quickly. We'll whip through this very quickly. Elton Junches has been banned for 4 years for steroids.
4 years?
He is 33 years old, so that would be
Is he the
end
one?
of his career.
The one that went off with the
masseuse?
Yes.
Yes, the physical therapist.
yep.
Yeah, that's exactly him. He stepped out on his long-suffering partner. He's also the one who allegedly assaulted someone on a plane and was arrested on the tarmac when it landed.
He's only a small dog, isn't he?
Only a wee fella. You'll
Yeah.
remember him from having the outlandish haircuts back in the day.
Yeah.
I believe he played in the 29th, just before COVID. They played in the Super Rugby Grand Final last time South Africa
Yep.
was in there. He's a hell of a player. Very distinctive looking bloke, and will not be playing rugby again, I suspect, at a professional level at least. His steroid of choice was clenbuterol. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
This is a weight loss supplement, and it's basically where you just redline your nervous system and you're just twitching all day.
Right. So you're shredding.
So you're burning a million calories.
Oh God.
I had a couple of mates who tried it, and they got very shredded. Shredded.
But real jumpy.
Real jittery, and just always tired. But that was more for just getting shredded out of their minds and going to festivals. So.
You get shredded for R&V.
Yeah, maybe Elton was just going to R&V. Maybe that was his whole plan. And just quickly on rugby as well, Joe Schmidt has been announced as the Wallabies coach.
That's official, is it?
It is official.
So not Fozzie for Aussie.
Not Fozzie for Aussie,
It's
unfortunately.
Schmitty for the Schmitty for
Schnitty?
Schmitty for the Schnitty.
Schmitty for the Schnitty. Which will be good. It'll be good for Australian rugby. I mean, the only way was up for them, wasn't it?
They need someone to come and sort this shit out.
Yeah.
And
Sort their schnitt out.
he's not a dick. And
Yeah.
by all accounts, Joe Schmidt is not a dick.
No.
Unlike his predecessor at Australian rugby. So that's good. Yeah, he may bring in Fozzie.
Wow,
You know,
yeah.
They're tight. They're pretty tight.
Fozzie assistant coach for Aussie.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Well, Schmitty's on the Schnitties.
Schmitty we're having a Schnitty in the box while Fozzie's having a down with the Aussie. Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Halbergs Sporting moments have been announced this week. They've gone through the finalists, the Wagner test at the Basin. It's got to be in there, I think.
This is sporting moments
Of 2023. These are the finalists for the Halberg Awards.
People's Choice.
People's Choice.
Okay, sporting moments. So is it a moment? Okay.
Yeah. The Wagner test, the Basin Oval.
the last ball
Last
thriller.
ball. It's the second test ever to be decided by one run.
Strangle down leg side.
Yeah, it was an absolute thriller. The Warriors had to have a moment in there. I don't know if I agree with it, but it's the Warriors 32-30 over the Sharks.
It was the comeback, wasn't it?
So we were down 18-0 after 10 minutes in the first half, and then Sean Johnson kicked the penalty goal to win it, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know about that one. For me, it's the game against the last game at Mount Smart at Go Hard Media when they humped the
Knights?
The Knights?
Yeah.
only purely because of that moment. I called that game because everyone else was away. The reason that is the moment is that moment after the game where 30,000 people sung the team song.
Yeah.
That was a sporting moment of the year for me, hands down, in New Zealand anyway.
I went to the game before that at Mount Smart, and just the atmosphere there is incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw the footage of the Knights game before that. They had a sold-out thing as well because they went undefeated for about almost 12 games going into playing us.
Yeah.
And they were the darlings of the NRL
Oh,
for
massively.
the Australians.
I think I might have seen it on Cromwich House. He'd shove your run up your ass. You've just been humped.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that, and also because the aircon's out of control in this room. So that was another one of the finalists.
Yeah.
Gisberger, I don't know what his name is, but he's fast.
That's good because he won something.
He won something.
Yeah, he won the Chicago street race.
Hannah Wilkinson's goal in the World Cup.
The only goal we scored.
The only goal we scored. Mia Motu defending her title with a dislocated shoulder. That's hearty. Women's K4. I can't shed too much insight into that one.
Not a moment. Not a moment for me.
I expect they rode their boat pretty quick. Ryan Fox winning the BMW PGA. That was a great moment, but I don't know. If you had asked me to name all of the PGA tournaments I could, BMW might not have shown up on my list.
It was a good celebration for him. He got a lot of shit for his fist bump, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what? Liam Lawson gets the first points on the F1. He came ninth.
Nah.
Shout out to him.
Shout out. I mean, look, it's hard. I mean, he is 0.00001% of us will get a point in
Yeah.
Formula One, but he came ninth and got a point.
Yeah, I don't think coming
Straight.
ninth can be...
It's a reach.
Yeah. And finally, the Whitelock turnover v Ireland. I think this is just because they had to have an All Black in there.
Nah.
At the time, it was great, but any time a turnover is not a moment.
Turnover.
It's not going to make sports.
The Halbergs Sporting moment of the year is Captain Caveman reaching over a ruck and trying to get a loose ball.
It's the dark arts.
Fuck off.
The dark arts of rucking and mauls.
I agree with maybe half of those. Other half is a real reach or a box tick.
Yeah. So that's why we thought, let's go through our own ACC's favourite sporting moments. And Lane, I know you've written this list, so if you'd like to, I'd love to hear.
Well, my first one is, if we're going to need rugby in it, it's the leg break in the Rugby World Cup, and it was the All Blacks versus Namibia.
Yes.
And everyone brushed over it.
Yeah.
But there was that one individual, I think he was maybe a blindside or
I think
a
he was
loose
the
ball.
captain as well.
Yeah, running backwards, got the ball, and his leg snapped clean in half down from about just above the ankle.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, but everyone kind of just moved on. But it was one of the, I was commentating it, and I was like, "Rip, rip." So that was a moment that stuck out for me in the whole World Cup.
And anybody who's ever seen something like that happen in the flesh, knows what that's like.
Yeah.
That's why that burned. I remember we were commentating the Highlanders one year, and what's our man James Lynch's?
Yeah.
It happened to him.
Oh.
And this was when we only had the ground effects mics in the stands and the mic on the ref.
Oh, this was during COVID.
And the ref was the first person on the scene. So he gets to James Lynch's, leans over him where the mic is right in his face, and this blood-curdling scream comes back through the mic into our ears through the headphones, and that is burned into my memory.
Yeah. My other favourite sporting moment was the opening match of Rugby World Cup. We had the no sleeps till victory brunch.
Yes.
Bottomless brunch.
Yeah, down at the viaduct
Down
there.
the viaduct. It was great.
Lula's in, smoked kahawai for breakfast.
Yeah, 200 people turned up, And our own Courtney Enor smashed $1,500 on her work card at that event. She can't recall most of it until I got the invoice.
The thing that makes this one stick out to me is that a lot of the blame was laid at my feet, and I didn't get I didn't reap the rewards of the $1,500 that were being smashed at the bar. Trust me, if I knew that the credit card was out, I would have been there.
Yeah, so you're still paying for that.
Yeah.
Another massive moment for me. If we're going to go down the Warriors, it is not the Warriors win over the Sharks. It's the old Koros at McLean Park in Napier after about the 20th streaker. The cameras pan to a couple of old Koros there with full Warriors regalia, just having a good catch-up. And then one of them just turned when he saw another pitch invasion and just gave the fingers. And the commentary from Chris Key and Di Henwood was on point.
Yeah. It was basically Chris just saying, oh, look, can everyone just calm down? Why can't you just sit there and enjoy the game like these two guys? And then almost as if on cue, they just ripped the fingers almost directly into the camera.
Yeah, it was so good. Jason Hoyt's run-outs last year. He was involved in 2 run-outs. Sporting moment for me, obviously the one involving Dylan Cleaver at the Mount for the Dulux Tradies 11. His gear fell off. It was embarrassing. And then he was involved in another one where he ran Di Henwood out under lights at Eden Park. Di Henwood was looking good. He middled a couple. He fulfilled a lifelong dream to play under lights at Eden Park. Middled one straight to point. Hoyt calls him in, calls him through, gets run out, walks off the park. Just...
Dream over.
Head and hands, dream over. Thanks to Jason Hoyt, just absolutely ruining his dream.
I don't think he was Jace's only victim that game. I feel like I recall he might have run Tony Lyle out in that same game.
And he just left as well.
Jace?
Yeah, he didn't come out in field.
No. Oh, that's a good point. I never saw him out on the field.
My hammy tier is our sporting highlight of the year. Being banana boated down Cadrona with a hammy tier, both the highlight and low light.
Yeah,
I think
we got a lot of leverage out of this. Obviously, you were away for a holiday at that time, and it just made our week to be able to rehash this. I think we got a couple of texts in from people who witnessed it, who saw you there.
Yeah. Well, the most embarrassing thing about a banana boat ride down a mountain is usually people who are in a banana boat are lying flat. They're usually in so much pain. They've been given a green whistle. They've been given some sort of medication, and they're just lucid, and they don't care that they're being skidooed down the mountain. Whereas they sat me up in the banana boat, so I'm sitting upright, fully awake and aware of my surrounds, just with a torn hamstring, and you can hear everyone laughing and shouting abuse at you, and even I was going down the mountain and people were going up the chairlifts, and I could just remember like say "loser," like stuff like that. And it was just like, you know what, this is. I'm never going to do this again. I am actually just going to go slide down on my face to the bottom of the mountain as opposed to getting a banana boat conscious.
And that's when we learned that if you are within your head enough to ask for the green whistle, you will not be given it.
Nah.
Not for physical pain, but maybe you should have tried, hey, can I have the green whistle for the humiliation I'm about to face on the way down here?
It was so funny looking back, because when you brought that up, the green whistle obviously is an anesthetic they give you, which is basically you inhale this drug which sends you into a fucking la-la land. And I requested it. I said, oh, I'm in chance I can get the green whistle. And I could see the two medics look at each other from the mountain, and he looked over the other one and goes, have you got any green whistles on you? And they're like, obviously it's the shtick because they know. And then he goes, no, I haven't got any. He goes, sorry, mate. It's like, motherfuckers, I know you got a green whistle.
They've looked at each other and gone, he's asked for
the green. He's got a green whistle problem.
Yeah.
This guy, so don't feed his habit.
Yeah, that's a good point, because actually at that time they wouldn't have been able to corroborate your story.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have known, because you weren't disfigured in any way.
Nah.
So yeah, that's a good point. You know, certain people might be on a list for those kind of things, and they might just,
Yeah. And the last big highlight sporting moment for me was our last day in Paris when we left the hotel to the airport, and there was a guy, I've never seen a guy stand upright and backwards over a bonnet. So he's at 90 degrees, but not front ways, back ways.
Yep.
And this is at 9 a.m, fully unconscious, AirPods in, and the phone lying on the street. And we tried to go and wake him up, and he proceeded to fall off the car and lie in the path of a busway. And so...
on a cobbled street.
He was so wasted.
Yeah.
So wasted. Had AirPods on, iPhone, and remember standing him up. And I think Joe Jury put his phone in his top pocket, which is a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
And then we sent him on his way, and he ricocheted off parked cars and shop windows for about 200 metres. Oh, he would have had a hell of a day. Anyway, they were my sporting highlights.
Wasted.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of those, and I actually think that we petitioned to have our own entry into the Halbergs, the ACC's People's Choice.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking to do the ACC Sports Awards at the end of the year, which is more around, biggest hit, biggest kind of mess up, biggest scandal, best social tweet, best PR backfire. Like stuff that's actually quite funny, and for example, the Ramfleet Shield will be a front runner.
Yes,
it would have been last year.
Yes,
a massive front runner. Rugby League, Mad Monday, of the year, that kind of stuff. So I'm looking at about November, black tie event. Get tables together.
If you'd like to sponsor one of the awards, reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that's what the Halbergs needs. It needs maybe an injection of life. Give you that, a little bit of life.
I would love for the biggest hit to be sponsored by, it's the ACC's biggest hit brought to you by the ACC, like the Accident Compensation Corporation.
I was going to say, Maxi Gesic or some sort of painkiller.
Yeah. Okay, well, reach out. All right, time for one more break, and then we're going to go through the best of the yours pleasers that we couldn't get through to the last commentary. All right, on the commentary on Wednesday afternoon, we've been going on about it for a while, so if you're not aware, we have a new function where you can send through a voice memo to us on iHeartRadio. Feel free to do it at any time, but obviously we get a massive spike during commentaries.
Yeah.
We had so many come through on Wednesday afternoon that we couldn't get through to them all on the commentary, but we can now. So without any further ado, let's go through the first one. Caller, yours please.
Yeah, g'day fellas. Tim here, calling in from Denver, Colorado. It was negative 22 here yesterday, so it had me thinking, should we be sending the subcontinent teams down to places like Invercargill or perhaps Stewart Island and only playing the Poms in Napier or far north? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Keep up the good work. Cheers.
Well, I mean, look, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We do is the answer to that, because the first game of every year is usually played in Dunedin.
Yeah.
And they usually send Pakistan or the West Indies or Bangladesh down there.
Sri Lanka. And, we talked about this before. Last year was the first time I've ever seen a team wear beanies on a cricket field, and that's what they did. I think it might have been Bangladesh, maybe? I don't know. They all had beanies in the slip cordon. One guy had two beanies on the sideline when they were batting.
Two beanies?
Which I have never seen anywhere. I haven't seen that on a mountain. I haven't seen it at all.
I'm all for it.
Yep.
I'm all for it. There are conditions.
That's right.
Yeah, so deal with it.
It's part of cricket to obviously you tailor the pitch to your own conditions. Sometimes the boundaries are, sort of at your disposal as well. I do like the idea of taking it further south than Dunedin. So it's like, oh, you thought Dunedin was bad?
Auckland Islands.
Have a go. Have a go. Welcome to Scott Base. And I'm a big fan of peak summer as well, Whangarei.
I don't. Yeah.
Good luck to you.
But I don't think it's that much colder in Invercargill than it is in Dunedin. Is it really? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we just check the forecast that week. It's only a couple of hours drive. Just be like, okay, well.
Where are we going to go?
Yeah, where are we going? But that is a brilliant idea. Minus 22. I mean, if we could get something like that going, that'd be ridiculous.
Minus 22. It'd be a hard pitch.
That's like, I don't know if you've seen the footage coming out from the Buffalo Bills game.
Yeah.
I think it was minus 20 there as well.
Yeah.
People were buying beers and they were frozen solid by the time they got back to their seat.
Yeah, I saw them take them out of the fridge and it would just freeze up the bottle.
Yeah. It's out of control. Why live there?
Well, that was a freak event.
It was a freak event. Yeah. It was an event for freaks. Here is the next caller. Yours, please.
Kia ora, boys. It's Blake here from Tauranga. I'm just wondering which sporting bats or rackets or whatever you'd add to your golf bag. I've slowly been realising I'm pretty shit at golf. When I'm using a golf club anyway. When I take my hockey stick, I'm pretty good. Or a cricket bat. But I was just wondering what else you'd add to a golf bag if you had to fill it with anything apart from golf clubs.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good question, Blake.
Sure, Blake.
Yeah, sure, Blake. I'm going to say a tennis racket.
Yeah. That was exactly where my brain went. I'm imagining, though, so if you're taking a tennis racket, are you picturing that you're hitting this out of the air? So, like...
Oh, yeah.
So, like, because if you're, chipping around the green, you couldn't really do that. But I'm picturing if you're taking some sort of other bat, then you're allowed to, toss it up to yourself. You just have to play it from where it lies.
Yeah.
Or at least off the tee.
No, okay, that's changed things. So in my mind, I was tossing the ball up and just...
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking too.
With the tennis racket.
Because I think with a tennis racket from around the green, I reckon I could get it right on the rubbish bin lid.
Yeah, I wonder what else, because you've got ice hockey sticks are pretty handy.
Well, made famous by Adam Sandler.
Yeah, you can get a bit of power behind that.
Yeah.
Any other stick?
I guess as long
cricket bat is good.
Like
mentioned, the cricket bat is pretty good because if you middle a golf ball, it's gone.
Is there a legal limit to the height of a golf tee? I presume that it just at a certain point it's not advantageous to have you because you can tee your ball up too high, can't you? But if you've got a cricket bat and a
tennis racket
and a 50 centimeter tee.
Well, if you've got a 50% tee, you might as well get a baseball bat. So I think a baseball bat would probably go further than a cricket bat.
I'd rather cricket only because the face of the bat is flat.
Right, so you don't sky it.
So you don't sky it or top it because, imagine if your driver, the head of your driver, it'd be like using your driver backwards if you were using a baseball bat. So, yeah, I don't mind cricket. I'm just trying to think through the more obscure sports.
Curling?
Like a curling stone?
No, not curling. No, what's it?
A broom?
No, what's the one? Lacrosse.
Hurling.
Hurling, not curling.
Yeah.
Hurling, because you could scoop it up and then... off the ground and then to hurl it.
Are you familiar with the subcontinental sport of high-lie?
No.
This is a real obscure sport. Joe, have you heard of this? This is a sport, Jai, I think, Alai, it's spelled. And it's basically played on like a elongated squash court where there's a wall on one side and you have a scoop on one hand. It's like a giant... I don't know, a scoop sling thing on your hand where you can catch this ball and fucking sling this thing at other people.
Yeah.
I would go that. You'd have a lot of control.
Yeah.
It's basically like a lacrosse stick, but except directly on your hand, which while we're on it, lacrosse stick wouldn't go too bad.
Yeah, okay. I'm all for all those, but it's just there is some legalities around whether you have to play it off the deck.
I don't think that there's anything better for hitting a golf ball than a golf club.
That's what it's designed for.
But... I do think around the edges of the green you could probably get, a bit more control, certainly than I've seen from a lot of my playing partners with their wedges. Time for another one. Caller, yours, please.
Count. The pressure mounts on for the body count.
Thank you for that one.
Okay, is that a piece of evidence in a murder?
Count. The pressure mounts on for the body count.
What was the Brad Pitt movie where he's hunting down the 7, Reese hunting down the kill at
the box in the middle of the desert.
the astrologer. What's in the box? That sounds like that.
Okay.
So thank you for that. What was it? The pressure mounts on for the body counts. I'll have nightmares about that.
Yeah.
Okay. We got time for a couple more. Caller, yours, please.
G'day, lads.
G'day, mate.
When we were kids and we dropped as many catches as some of these international teams did, my dad, the coach, would just smash balls at us during practice. Do you think they get the same treatment in international cricket?
Yeah, well, interestingly, he didn't get more practice when we dropped a catch. We got a plastic Kiwi cricket wicket across the back of the knees. Have you had one of those? That hurts. And it also makes the noise of a lightsaber from
really?
Star Wars, because it's got a little hole in the end. It goes, so it goes, whoopsh, the back of the knees. Yeah, look, I can categorically say yes, they do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, if you have a shitter in the field, you can guarantee that the next fielding practice is going to go on.
You're going to get flogged.
For 2 or 3 more hours. You can't. And at international level, also, you can't be going around dropping some fucking sitters like they have in the last few games.
There was 2 in that last game
Yeah.
that were absolute shockers.
Yeah.
What were some of the more creative punishments that you had when you were coming up playing cricket?
Well, actually, one of the worst ones was with actually former New Zealand cricket CEO David White, who was our cricket coach, and he had some big forearms on him. He was kind of a kind of squat, kind of opening batsman for ND, big forearms. He loved the changa, which is basically hitting it as high as you can and getting underneath it.
Yeah, right.
And you weren't allowed to go home until you took 3 changas in a row without dropping. And I can remember being there at about 7:30 at night. Training started at 4.
Yeah.
And the pressure's on. You catch 2, you've got to catch the 3rd, and just chant. Your hands are all red, swollen. There's like 3 of us left. Scott Morrow, who refused to catch it normally, and just to wind up the coach, he'd do crocodiles. So he'd crocodile catch it.
On purpose?
And he'd spill that. And it was just like, can you stop doing that, Scotty, because we need to go home.
Yeah.
But that was probably, that and the Kiwi cricket wicket. But the Kiwi cricket wicket around the back of the eggs was in my very junior days. Like I was like 10 or 11.
We had a problem when I was growing up that we had a lot of cowards in our team, and people were backing away from the ball. And so our coach, shout out to Paul Harrison, you met his son Tim down in Monica. He used to stand in the net behind us with a full wicket with the metal tip on it, pointed at your ass while you're batting.
So you back away.
So if you back away, the stump's going up your ass. And man, did it really drum into you not to back away. And I think we got lit up that season because none of us took a backward step from a single ball. And I think, a million LBWs, we got hitting the ribs, hitting the elbows, but none of us backed away from a ball. And I still don't to this day because I've got the image of Paul with that stump directly behind me. Time for one more. Caller, yours, please.
Thanks, boys. It's been a great array of subjects and plenty of things to think about on the chat for this commentary. And Lee Harv with an amazing stats repertoire and story time. It's just been amazing. Just one point of contention. We need a bit more Palmy chat, a bit more Palmy facts and figures. Appreciate it. Love you, boys. Cheers.
Palmy?
Why? The game. Where was that game? Christchurch? No.
That one was in
Hamilton.
And no, that was in Dunedin. I don't know. I want some more Palmy chat. Well, look, I mean, if the game was in Palmy, we'd give you some Palmy chat. Like, I lived in Palmy for a year.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
I worked for 2XS, the radio station 2XS. Had Mike and Baldrick in the morning. It's now More FM. But had a year there. I can't say I had a great time. Kind of a strange vibe, Palmy. It's
the naked pie man around when you were there?
Nah. It's a strange mixture of the university students at Massey, then the army, and then rural, like farmers.
Yeah.
It's a real powder keg. I remember being at a few things and it was just very tense. And then there was me and another mate, this guy Glenn Beale, who we did the drive show to XS as well. And we were just fucking idiots. We'd go to op shops and buy 3-piece suits and go out to town and pretend like we were traveling millionaires. And stuff, and just stupid shit. And then we never walked through the square in those days because a little fucking street rat would jump out and go, give me your wallet or whatever, and you'd be like, jack off, you little shit. He's like 10 years old, and then he has a swing at you, and then Glenn knocks him out, and then like gremlins or like Ewoks, fucking thousands of them come out of the trees. And I remember just running through the square. And I shit you not, there were about 20 or 30 kids chasing us.
It's an enormous square too, so you're running quite a way.
Yeah, and we're in 3-piece suits, dressed like stupid old men. I remember waking up in the morning and my whole suit was ripped to pieces, like a tie was missing. And I remember also being in a pub and there was this ginormous guy. He was ginormous and built. He was in the army and all his army mates were there. Yeah. And Snatch had just been released, the movie Snatch.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You know, the
Ritchie.
follow up to Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. And and it's the one with Brad Pitt in it.
Yeah.
He's the
You like dogs?
Yeah. And I was at the bar and I presumed it was a big movie. I presumed everyone had seen this movie. And I'd be at this bar in Palmy and he's a fucking massive dude at the bar. And I was like, and he goes, I said, look at you big fuck. You big fuck. Do you backs, you big fuck? Like, and he looked down at me and he goes, the fuck do you say? I went, do you backs, you big fuck? And he looked at me and I knew immediately he hadn't seen the movie. And I went, have you watched Snatch? And he goes, I'll see you outside. I'm like, oh, come on, man, you're not going to beat the shit. Oh, fuck. And so he stands outside and he's standing outside with his arms folded. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, okay. So I went, I basically bought 10 beers, 10 handles, and all his mates are out there as well. And I just took out 10 beers and I just went, handed them over. I was like, it was just a joke. I was like, he goes, you're lucky you bought those beers. I was like, okay.
Not lucky. Not lucky.
Smart.
This was calculated. Yeah.
He was enormous. I reckon he was 6'7", but just built as well.
Yeah.
Did not get the joke. I did not get it. Actually just wanted to pulverise me.
Well, there's your Palmy chat there. Don't forget that you can send those in at any time. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio, you can just hit the wee button there. If you don't listen to us on iHeartRadio, you can still go over there and hit the button.
Yeah, it's on the app. Yeah. So as soon as you play us on the live commentary, it's this little microphone and you just press it. And here's an inside tip. We don't check them when we're on air because we can't listen to them, pre-listen to them. And we've been stung a couple of times and we've just played them. Yeah. So that just, I don't want any fucker around the pussies, okay? Yeah. That's been done.
We can pre-check them before we play them on the podcast,
Yes.
and that's how I managed to weed out 5 consecutive voice notes from a guy mowing his lawns that he'd accidentally pressed the button and it's just...
So it's in his pocket. He's obviously listening to the commentary on his Bluetooth headphones or something.
While he's mowing the lawn, so yeah, shout out to him. All right, that'll do us for today, and I want to leave you just with a great quote that we stumbled upon today. It's on the ACC Instagram page. It's from a bloke by the name of Mookie Wilson, and these are words to live by. When I'm in a slump, I comfort myself by saying, if I believe in dinosaurs, then somewhere they must be believing in me. And if they believe in me, then I can believe in me. And then I bust out.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.